All right, welcome to another edition of the Big Blue Report featuring that guy, two-time Super Bowl champion, former defensive captain of the New York Football Giants, Giants legend Jonathan Casillas, the professor Ryan Darlington, and apparently I can't tell time. My name is Randy Zelia, and from backsportspage.com. And this is a listener-supported podcast supported by you, the listener. Go to NFLshop.com, support the New York Football Giants and the Big Blue Report. Now get your 2025 Giants gear to support Big Blue and get it now. All right, boys. As we're in the home stretch here, the final three games of the 2025 campaign. Is it a race to the finish?
So much to play for. So much to play for.
Yeah.
So much to lose for.
So much. I was about to say the same thing. I literally was about to say so much to lose for. Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
So, we were discussing this yesterday. Where to go? Where to start with? Let's touch real quickly on Sunday. There was no juice in the stadium. Okay, there was no juice at MetLife. So one of the things that made this Giants team so excited, win, lose, or draw, since the Jackson Dart era had started, had been, I guess, his energy, his excitement, and it just never like that got started on Sunday. Ryan, go ahead.
The offense just had no life. They came out. It was a vanilla game plan. You could definitely tell that they were trying to establish the run. I think they threw 4 times in the first half.
Yep.
This was a game that was meant to protect Jackson Dart. They're protecting their future. They're protecting their investment. It's a game plan that tried to get the run going. And for what it's worth, the line played well. The guys that were toting the rock were doing okay. Defense actually played well, but when you get 13 net passing yards on the day, it's an uninspired performance. And I don't feel like there's any want to anymore. And that worries me a little bit because, like you said, Jackson Dart thrives on juice. He thrives on energy, and if the energy is gone, then I think a lot of his capability and a lot of his desire to win goes with it.
It was a rough game to watch. You know what? I do like the thought process, but they have to figure out that fine line of letting Dart do whatever he wants and then handcuffing him. They're on almost two opposite ends of the spectrum. You went from everybody saying we got to figure out how to protect Dart to now it's like, okay, that's too protected. Like that. That's now it's like we didn't see anything from Dart. Like you said, 13 net yards passing is horrible. I mean that's really, really bad. I like the approach. I mean, the first 2 runs of the game, the Giants had about 30 yards.
Yeah.
In the first 2 runs of the game, with Tracy. And I love the approach to establish a physical presence, but you can't be one-dimensional. And it wasn't like it was the elements, right? Like extremely cold or extremely windy or really rainy or something like that would say, all right, we're going to move to this type of game plan. It looked like they were just trying to protect Jackson Dart. And I'm not going to say all the other things that I've been hearing. Oh, they're making sure they get the number 1 pick. Like that's not happening because it doesn't make sense because this regime is not going to be here. So that doesn't make any sense. But maybe it was let's figure out how to protect this kid so we don't, get him hurt. And I just don't think that was the right decision in terms of not how they started, but how the game progressed on. The defense kept them in it. The defense made a lot of plays this game. But again, the defense did the same thing that we've seen time in and time again, getting out leverage on 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, giving those opportunistic defensive situations, you give them up. And it's so freaking disgusting to see on a consistent basis. And it's the same culprits, right? It's the same defensive back taking poor angles and basically taking all of their teammates away from making the play. Not getting off of blocks, not tackling efficiently and well, or being physical. Like tell me when you've seen the Giants have a big hit. I mean, Burns hit the quarterback pretty good, but he's the guy that we don't question and how he's been playing this year. But who has had a big hit on defense this year? Who has we like, oh man, he blew that dude up? I haven't seen it. They're not playing with that physical mentality. And when you watch that Patriots game a few weeks ago, the Patriots did what uh varsity team does to a freshman team or a JV team.
Yep.
They physically abused the Giants, and the Giants have never even came close to playing on that type of level. And man, it's bad to see, man. And I was at the game and I didn't watch any of the game because I was working and I watched everything this morning. And I was glad that I didn't waste my time watching the game when I was there. I was way better off doing what I was doing, which was networking and smiling and signing autographs and doing something worthwhile. Because it wasn't worth me watching that damn bullshit that they put out there on Sunday.
I was just imagining Jason sitting there saying, if you're watching this and you're a Giants fan, you must be dead inside.
Bro. And I've heard, because once the game is over, I put on my YouTube and I listen to The Fan. I listen to a lot of other, affiliates of the Giants and different podcasts that cover the Giants just to see what everybody's saying. So I was like, man, I didn't realize it was that bad. I didn't know the numbers until basically yesterday. And then when I saw the numbers and I watched it, and I was like, this is like, why? Like, why would you try to implicate that game plan and execute that? It was just, and this Minnesota team, they're not world beaters. They have a tremendous wide receiver, but they haven't been finding him in recent weeks. And we allowed him to get off on, I think, manageable plays where you could tackle him for a limited gain. And it was just so discouraging to watch, bro. I mean, 13 total yards and it's crazy. What's up?
We put Tay Banks on Justin Jefferson. Tay Banks on Justin Jefferson. Our CB4 when we're having a good day. We put him on Justin Jefferson. I guess I'm not all that surprised that he made some nice catches on Tay Banks. But I mean, look, it's like you said, JC. It's the same stuff. It's a pick six getting called back because the guy lined up in the neutral zone, right? I mean, it's just all of this stuff. It's not cerebral football.
Who was that? Who did that?
Yeah, who did that? Mr. Rookie of the Year.
Besides that play, though, he played a great game. He had another great game.
I will tell you that the one guy that I'm actually very excited about is Abdul Carter because he does look like he's getting his shit together. But here's the thing. How much better would it have been if he had gotten his shit together in week 2? You know what I'm saying? Instead of week fucking 15 or 12 or whatever it is. So, and that's if that's all that had to happen, if it's a little accountability, a little bit of discipline, a little bit of get your shit together, you're not the best thing since sliced bread, you got to earn your place in this league. If all that would have taken, happened before, I'm a little mad that it's taken us this long to get him to where it needs to be.
Yeah. Definitely disappointed. And look, man, whenever they line him up over that center, holy smokes.
Oh, you saw that spin move?
Holy smokes. The last 2 weeks, every time he's lined up over the center, it's a W for him. It's a win.
Sure.
He's beating the dog crap out of those centers.
Yeah.
And he's been having success lining up against the tackles as well on the outside. He's been getting a lot of holding calls called against him, and he's showing his athleticism. He's showing his explosiveness. He's showing why he was drafted number 3 overall. And I'm with you too, Ryan. It sucks that it happened literally in the last quarter of the season. And he had to get, basically benched for a couple of drives throughout this season. But it's good to see that with all of the negativity that's around the Giants, with the dissension that the Giants have been stuck in for the last 2.5 months. It's good to see that he's playing better because that doesn't happen. Nobody plays better as the team gets worse. It's usually a downward trend for everyone involved. Just like Jackson Dart, right? Jackson Dart hasn't played well the last couple of weeks. That's something I would normally you would typically see from a team that hasn't won a game since 3 holidays ago.
Mm-hmm. That's
We done
crazy.
been through 3 holidays.
3
yo.
holidays. God damn.
Just when you feel that Ryan can't feel any worse, JC, you just
Yeah.
made a
Thanks. A little
Yeah.
quarter turn of that knife. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas is right around
Christmas
the
is
corner.
right around the
before
corner.
the Giants
God
won their
damn it.
last game.
It's the offensive line too. They've been coming together as well, and now
But now
Thomas
you
is
lose your
out. I got
center.
it. Yeah, you
Stingy
lose
was
Bam
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas,
Oh, God,
another
another
hamstring.
injury.
Listen to me
Another-
though. Go ahead.
Another injury to Andrew Thomas, man.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's rough.
Like,
But look, I don't mind Stinney going in as a backup. I don't mind Schlotman going
He was
as a,
bad
as
though,
a
bro.
backup.
Stinney
Was he
was
bad
bad,
this
bro.
game?
He was
See, but
bad. He had a couple
hasn't been.
penalties called on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't.
All right.
He didn't have a good performance.
All right. Well, but I mean, I've seen him come in and actually produce. Right.
Played
I've
good
seen
ball.
him
Yeah.
come
yeah.
in and play good ball. So having a bad game, I'll get that. But I'll give him that one. But we're finally at a position where I don't feel the line is just fucking terrible, right? I mean, like there are some salvageable elements there. The
right.
Andrew
No, I
Thomas
agree
has
on
been pretty solid. For when he plays, Runyon has been pretty solid. JMS is coming on, right? GVR, even for being old as dirt, he's in there and he's moving people around. They got good. I mean, I don't know how much you give a shit about PFF rankings, but they got pretty good run blocking and pretty good pass blocking rankings this past game. So they're coming on as well, and it's a shame that we can't. Well, I'm going to put this in quotes. It's a shame that we can't put it all together at the same fucking time, right? Why can't we get a decent game out of the line and out of the defense and out of the quarterback and out of the running back? And can we catch a fucking ball, please?
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, putting that all together is what I'd really love to see, and that's what's going to get us wins. Of course, I would want to see that. I wanted to see that 9 weeks ago, right? Maybe
Randy,
not so much in the next couple.
What do you mean? What do you mean you want to see? You want to make sure you're spending $13 or $16 million on a wide receiver who's been loyal to your team, and you want him to catch a ball?
Imagine that. How many yards does he have this year? 300.
Producer Ryan, can you check on that one, please? I would love to know that number too.
Because normally he's worth 800 yards usually, right?
Yeah.
A good 5 or 6 touches, right? And I think this year it's maybe a few hundred yards and
I'm looking now.
1 or 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's been next. And granted, he's been hurt for some of the time, but god damn,
He's at 468.
yeah,
1 touchdown, 51 targets, only 31 receptions.
yeah. Does it say how many drops?
That does not say how many drops he has. Not here, but I'm pretty sure he's probably floating around double-digit drops, which
I
is
wouldn't doubt it.
crazy.
It's crazy.
Real quick though,
guys.
Randy, Ryan, I don't know if you guys have any information. What happened to John Runyon?
Oh, Runyon, his wife went into labor. So
He's having a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a baby. So
Yeah, he had a baby. He had the baby.
Yep, had the baby.
Well, he
so
didn't. But
Okay,
yeah.
good.
yeah.
Hey, listen, when you got to choose between
Yeah.
having your baby and going out there and playing with a 2-13 team,
2 and 13, yeah, right. It's not like they're playoff bound. You know what I mean? They're fighting for their playoff.
You're not hearing him
Like that.
say.
that was an easy decision.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Kafka probably called him. Was like, "Hey, are you having like? I'm already here, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I'm already at the hospital. I was never planning on
Go ahead and find me, bro. It's
being
fine.
there, guy."
They called him. He's like, "Are you coming to the game?" He's like, "There's a game today."
Yeah, right. Let's
Yeah,
think
man.
about the wrath of Kafka versus the wrath of the wife.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I would take Kafka scolding
Yeah,
over probably any woman I've ever met in my life.
that's right. I'd rather the scolding than even the look, just the eye, right? It just makes you wilt inside. No, man.
Man, guys, we are in a very crazy pickle right now because we all know that as the organization, right? No one outside the organization wants to lose. No one outside the organization wants the Giants to win games,
Right.
right? But everyone in the organization, they need to win games.
Yeah.
Like that's the truth, right? And this is like the first time I've ever been in this pickle where I'm like, if they win it'd be detrimental
Mhm.
to the team's future. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
is the first time I've started to consider this and think like that
Yeah.
because I was so in the player's mindset of, players are not concerned about where they're picking unless they're picking, 32nd, which is where you want to pick at. That means you won a Super Bowl. And it's at your detriment because the draft, they're potentially bringing in somebody to replace you. So as a player, when I played, I never was concerned about that. And these guys are definitely not concerned about that. And it doesn't help them that the Giants are picking so early because it means you suck. It means you are the worst team in the league if the Giants have the number 1 draft pick. But I'm playing out scenarios in my head from the Giants having a number 1 draft pick, and it doesn't work that way if they're picking number 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Right. So
Sure.
they're in an interesting situation right now where, of course, the organization is thinking win. They're thinking, beat the Raiders, but this is the biggest game of the year, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
This is the biggest game of the year.
Yeah.
It is.
I want you to think about that. I really want you to think about that for a second. Yeah. Think about that. This is the biggest game of the year. And
Yeah, it's
there's
the
nothing-
toilet bowl. But
Yeah.
but listen, there's something that makes me feel okay about the game that's coming up on Sunday. And I kind of want to throw up a little bit when I say this. But at the end of the day, I don't really worry about them having to tank because talent-wise, I don't think they can win that game. They can put their best effort on the
Against
field.
the Raiders?
They're in such bad shape from a team perspective, from an output perspective, from a morale perspective. They're in such bad shape that they could go out there and give their all and still lose to the Raiders. I mean, honestly, I don't know that they have to tank, right? I know they don't want to tank, and they're going to play their best, but we're still probably going to come out with a loss because, fellas, we've been saying it. We're the worst team in football. We're just bad, guys. And I hate to say it. I fucking hate to say it because I love this team. But the numbers don't lie, fellas. What we see every week in and week out for the last 9 weeks has just been a steady decline in our ability to play the game of football and to play it in a complementary way and to do things the right way and to actually put ourselves in a position to win without totally shooting ourselves in the foot with whatever. So, I mean, look, they can do whatever they want to do. They could play the best game. I still don't think they can win because it's just a bad team.
Yeah.
Well, I want to throw a couple things at you because last night we promised we were going to discuss it, and it's
Don't do this. Don't do this, Randy.
This is the part where I get to be beat up. So one of the big conversation points is going to be
You guys are going to
whether or
love
not-
this.
whether or not they retain Joe Shane or not. And if Joe Shane does not get bought back, you have a new GM in there who's got, who's going to want to make some decisions and bring his people in and so on and so forth. You have the number 1 pick. It starts raising a lot of questions. Obviously, the obvious choice would be to trade that pick to get as much draft capital, trade it across town to the Jets.
Yes, that's the team.
That, what I mean?
Both teams rise after their worst years. They rise together.
Right. I think if you make that deal with the Jets, obviously, it makes the most sense. But there's also that small, window of you have to look at it. You don't have to make the deal, but you can listen to offers for players that could be untouchable, like the Scadaboos, like the Darts, like players that you don't think that they would want to move, but they'll listen because it's a new regime. Besides Dart, which was the one we were all arguing about last night, in your minds, are there any other players that in your head that you can say they're off limits that you would not want to move no matter what?
For the Giants?
For the Giants.
I don't think you can afford to lose Brian Burns. I don't think you can afford to lose him.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think everybody's on the table. I think Dex isn't safe. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, I think he may his best years may be behind him, but
I think they are. I'm
He
not
just doesn't. I mean, but at the end of the day, he doesn't want to be here. Even listen, a 75% Dex is better than probably 90% of the other nose tackles that are out there if he's motivated to play. If he's really giving it his all, he's not there. He would be happier on another team. He would be doing himself, and we would be doing him a disservice by keeping him on a team that we know is going to be another 2 or 3 years away from winning, right? Because it takes that long to establish a culture. It takes that long to get the guys in that you want to get in, train them up the way you want them to be, and actually establish a winning culture. It's going to take a few years, guys. And Dex doesn't have that many years on him, right? We can still get something for him because he still is a very good player. Same thing in my mind for Kayvon Thibodeau, right? I would probably give up Darius Slayton for a bag of donuts and a jaunty tune. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know that there's anybody else in my mind, aside from Dart and Scatterboo, that would be untouchable.
Yeah, I would throw Burns and Andrew Thomas in that mix.
Andrew Thomas, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, I would throw Andrew Thomas, even though his health is questionable, but his play is not. Whenever he's healthy, we don't hear his name, bro. He's a guy we do not hear his name when he's healthy.
Yep.
He doesn't give up anything. He's been having a tremendous year this year, I believe. Any year he's healthy, besides maybe last year, whenever he came back, I feel like he's been a tremendous player for the Giants, one of their best players, their most consistent offensive player whenever he's healthy. But that's the thing, he's not healthy. So does that put him in the, is he expendable? That's crazy to say, but because his health is a big question mark. He's been hurt every year the last few years,
Somebody comes with a second and a third round pick, you gotta think about it.
I'm looking at the Jets draft pick this next year. They have 14 draft picks this next year, and 4 draft picks in the first 45 picks. So if the Giants can figure out a way to grab some of those draft picks, we're talking about an overhaul of another first round where you have 2 draft picks. If you trade back and with the Jets, you'll probably get a second this round from them as well, and then maybe a first round next year, or at least a second round for 2027's draft. But I do think that the best thing for the Giants, for the future of the Giants, is for them to lose out. That is that is objectively the best thing for the Giants' future. That's it.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that part. I guess my question is, if Joe Schoen is still here, then Jackson Dart's here.
Yeah.
My thing is, or even with Joe Schoen here, if somebody calls you, whether you have the number 1 pick or not, and says, "I want to make you an offer for Jackson Dart," are you listening?
You have to listen to the offer, but
I would listen. Yeah.
If it's not like, to trade up to get Drake May, like we're talking 3 or 4 first round picks, maybe a second or something like that.
Yeah.
There would have to be some sort of massive haul to make it worthwhile. And even then, I would have trouble pulling the trigger, because the only guy that would even possibly come close out of this year's draft is Fernando Mendoza. And quite frankly, I don't think he's ready for New York City.
And he's unproven. He's anybody coming from the draft, and you have a almost a sure thing in front of you, who's proved himself, right? He's proved himself already. It's a question mark, but let's take the Jets for an example. Let's say the Jets are interested in trading the Giants for Jackson Dart. They're going to throw some draft picks in there because they have the collateral to do so. And if the Giants can walk away from, let's say they do move on from Jackson Dart, and they can walk away from keeping the number 1 pick overall and having multiple more draft picks in the first, 64 picks, I don't know if that's right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's not a good move for them to make. But Mendoza might be a guy. He might be a guy.
And so here's the other thing. You do have Jameis Winston under contract for another year.
Exactly.
So Fernando gets the clipboard, learns under Jameis, right, if he can be the thing. But, man, that's a gamble. That's such a gamble.
Yeah, 100%. Everything's a gamble, too, though. When you talk about taking a player that has showed you that he can play competent football on this level, and he's did it consistently except the last couple of weeks. And I think that's due to coaching. I think that's due to coaching. And Look, I never considered Brian Daboll a bad coach. I felt like he wasn't he wasn't a good head coach. I think his record proved that. Um, but I think his specialty is dealing with these young quarterbacks. I think
Player
his
development.
specialty is being right, like close to one of these guys and helping them throughout the process of learning how to play football on this level. And I think that's why he was able and was afforded the opportunity to have the head coaching job. But I just think that he just wasn't a head coach. You know, like there's some guys like me. I play football, right? Everybody knows I play football, right? Everybody knows I play linebacker. But if you say to me, like, oh, he's a good football player, just put him at safety, or just put him at corner, or just put him at wide receiver. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
You have certain things about you, your characteristics, how you play the game, your skills, your athleticism, your knowledge that makes you good for what you do. Dayball is great at the things that he's great at. And I don't think that is being the leader of a 53-man roster. I don't think that is him. But if he can take a guy under his wing and understand how to communicate with that person, how to get the most out of that person, and I'm talking about the quarterback position, I think that's the reason why he was able to get the opportunity that he got to coach for the Giants. And I got to tip my hat off to him, because now that he's not a part of the Giants, we're seeing his importance to Jackson Dart in the offense and how I think integral he was to Jackson Dart's development. And I think without him being on the Giants, we've seen Jackson Dart struggle.
Right. But if that's the case, he should have been the quarterback's coach, right? He shouldn't have been the head coach, because there's more than one guy on a 53-man roster. And as a head coach, you have to represent and get the most out of all 53 guys. You can't be focused on one or two dudes. And yes,
Jackson not as the head coach, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, he was not a head coach. You look at the greatest leaders that are around, they've got their finger on the pulse of everything that's going on in the building, of every person that's doing whatever they're doing, right? So knowing when to step in, knowing when to back off, knowing when to find somebody, knowing when to have a tough conversation with them, that come to Jesus conversation in the office, things like that. I feel like those are the elements that he just missed out on, right? That he just wasn't very good at. He's got a great offensive mind, really good at player development, very good specifically with quarterbacks, with his work with Josh Allen and with Jackson Dart. But if that's the case, he needs to be in a different position. He can't be a head coach.
Yeah. I think he's maybe content, with what he did. I mean, he took the Giants to the playoffs, won the first playoff game in 10 years.
Yeah.
That's
Coach of the year.
A good accomplishment. Coach of the year, and the last couple of years just not been good football at all.
At all.
And
fellas. At all.
He is definitely responsible for that. Who
do we got losing this Sunday to get the number one?
I feel like the Giants are going to win one of these last two games, maybe even both of them.
Yeah, just to spite me. Right, we've talked about this, right? Yeah, they're going to win. They're not going to beat they're probably not going to beat the Cowboys. I think if they do win this game against the Raiders, we're still talking a top 3 pick, right? I mean, I don't know.
If there's any year that they would beat the Cowboys, it'd be this year.
It'd be this year.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The meaningless if you win against Dallas is detrimental to your future year. That's the year they'll do it.
So I'm looking at week 18, and it's Dallas wanting to lose and the Giants wanting to lose. Like, it's nobody wants to win that game. Nobody.
And I'll throw something else at you. You ready? If they can beat Dallas, I can't tell you when the last time they beat Philadelphia, beat Dallas, but lose to Washington.
Yeah, right.
And got swept by Washington.
The worst of the teams in the division. Aside
That probably never happened, Randy. That probably never happened.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, you think about it, Washington has 3 or 4 wins? 2 of them came against the Giants.
Jesus Christ.
If you didn't want to start drinking before, Giants fans, there's
here we go.
End of the day.
Get your cup.
All right, let's get our trivia.
Trivia.
Yeah, are you ready? We're going to keep it Giants, Raiders related.
Let's do it.
What we got?
Boom.
Which New York Giants defensive back sealed a 23-16 win over the Raiders in 2021 with a pick six at MetLife Stadium?
You didn't have to get that aggressive on the microphone, Ryan.
Oh, come on. This is my one piece. This is one thing I get to do.
I got earpods in, bro.
Your choices.
I felt it in this ear, and it was coming in this
my
ear.
dulcet tones. I'll back up.
Wait! I didn't hear it because I was being attacked in my left ear.
Which New York Giants defensive? Still,
All right, I'll do it from here.
All right, I got it.
All right,
2021, right?
Yeah, show me the choices again.
Is it A?
James Bradbury.
Oh my God! Stop.
You know, some people call you an asshole. I don't see it.
Sitting on it. Logan Ryan, James Bradbury, Xavier McKinney, and Julian Love. Okay.
All right, it's a tough one.
It is a tough one. They're all like those type of guys that would have an interception to the crib.
I'm going to say B, Logan Ryan.
I'm going to say D, Julian Love.
Julian Love.
The correct
Let's
answer is Xavier McKinney, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh. How about that?
Green Bay's fine.
Yeah.
Another guy we let
Green
walk
Bay's
away and is playing unbelievably well. All right, guys, last question before we go here, before we take our little Christmas break as well. You know, we were discussing the coaching situation. It seems like there's a couple of coaches right now, the ones that we've been talking about for the last couple weeks, really having a strain with their organizations. There's a lot of talk out of right now, Baltimore, that Harbaugh might be on his way out at the end of the season. Do you think if him or Tomlin will become available, that they're going to want to jump right back into the coaching? Because a lot of times, like when a veteran coach gets let go like that, he doesn't just jump right back in. He usually takes a year or two off to get back in there. Do you think either one of those two guys would take this job, and or if not, who do you think they were going to go with? Because they do need a disciplinarian and a guy with a resume to come in here. No more. We're going to take a shot at a first-time head coach.
I think they are willing to take a shot at a first-time head coach, and that does bother me a little bit. I think if they do that, they're probably going to go with Hafley. If Tomlin or Harbaugh are available, I think we ought to make a strong play for either of them. I don't think, and it all depends on what happens this postseason, I don't think Tomlin is going to be available. I think he's probably going to stay, especially if they go deep in the playoffs. Harbaugh is a different story. He may not be looking to go back, especially given some of the more recent comments. But you know, to your point, Randy, he might be looking to take that year off, and if he is, there's going to be somebody waiting for him next year. I will say, though, that New York is a very attractive offer. It's a very attractive place to coach. You've got a good left tackle. We've talked about this. You got a good quarterback. You got a good running back. You've got it's New York. It's one of the biggest markets in the world, and you've got the first-round draft pick. You know what I mean? You've got like a high first-round draft pick that you can then kind of trade back and get a lot of capital out of the draft and really build the team the way you want to build it. So it's definitely an enticing kind of deal. But it seems like from a likelihood perspective, if all the stars align, I think our best option would either be Tomlin or Harbaugh.
Yeah, I agree with that too. But you know, those guys, I don't know if they're still on contract, but they're coaching actively. And the thing about those two guys is that what we're looking for that has established culture, a winning culture wherever he's been at. And you know, the Giants haven't hired a guy like that. You know, the last four head coaches haven't been that guy. You know, haven't been established culture, winning head coach, winning culture, disciplinarian, a guy that's a leader of men. We just haven't got that since Coughlin. And I hear it says Giants need a veteran head coach. I agree with you with that. I just don't know how valuable that is. I don't know if that's actually going to be something that the Giants are pursuing. And I don't want somebody who's an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator who doesn't possess the characteristics to be a good head coach, because I think that's where the Giants have been dropping the ball. They've been hiring prospects, but not the prospect that fit the mold of the leader of men. I just don't think they've done that. The McAdoo's, the Shermers, Judges, the Dayballs, all of those guys, they probably was great at whatever they were doing before they became a head coach, but none of them were head coach material.
Yeah.
Even Dayball, and I go from the things that he said this year a lot, because some of these things I'm just looking, like when he called Jackson Dart the leader of this team, I was like, is this dude like how are you gonna learn? Like what? Like why would you say something as idiotic as that? Like that was so like ignorant. Like I felt like to say, and like he's not even a leader in his own room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for him to say that, it's just like he's.
Uh-oh. We lost the man.
Oh, yeah, we lost him.
I think his point is well taken, though. I mean, you're not only do you kind of make a false statement like that, but you also alienate all the other guys that could be leaders on your squad. You alienate the Dexter Lawrences, you alienate the Darius Laytons, you alienate the guys that truly are leaders of men on the football team. And when you do that, and you give the ball to somebody that shouldn't have it, that ends up causing a lot of problems.
Did I just get kicked out?
Yeah, you did. But I finished your thought, man. We're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ryan has ESPN. He was able to read your mind.
ESPN, huh?
Yeah.
The
It's all
Ocho.
good. The Ocho. All right, thank you, guys. I want to wish, first off, I want to wish both of you guys a very, very Merry Christmas and, a happy holiday season. I'm hoping we can give you I don't know if you want a Giants win or a Giants loss. So whatever you want out of this Giants team, let's do our predictions real quick.
We're doing predictions.
Yeah, I already know that the Giants lost. I already did my write-up. It's already up on the website already. So I already have everything already written out. Jackson Dart threw for no, I didn't do that yet. But I'll go first. I think the Giants are they're gonna fall this week. I do think that Pete Carroll needs something, man. And that team's in bad shape too. But I just think right now that the Giants have such a bad confidence issue right now, and they just don't have anything to really hang their hat on right now. So I think just for that, the Raiders just going to go with the Raiders.
Is Genty playing?
I believe so, right? He's
Yeah.
on the injury report.
Yeah, I haven't got. Well, we haven't had an injury report yet. It comes out tomorrow.
Okay.
So
I don't know. I feel like the Raiders. Nobody really wants to win this game, right? No, nobody really wants to win this one. But I mean, honestly, they have players that we can't stop, right? Austin Genty is a guy that's just so good, and I don't think we can stop him. But the Giants are going to win just to piss me off. So it's going to be probably, I'd say probably 24 to 21 Giants is what I'm thinking.
I'm with you, Ryan. I do believe that the Giants will beat this team. The Raiders, they're bad. They are bad. Genty is coming off his best game of the season against a very good defense in the Houston Texans. He did very well on the ground and in the passing game as well. I don't want to jack your scores, but that's the same scores that I was thinking of.
Sure.
I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to go the Raiders going to win 21-17. First of all, the Raiders, this is how bad the Raiders are. The Raiders have been blanked twice, 2 separate times, 31-0 this year. They've lost 2 games where they got blanked, and the other team scored 31 points. So This is the bottom of the barrel fighting against the bottom of the barrel, guys. So
Scraping the jam.
this
Yep.
is the battle of the number one pick.
This is the
And
toilet bowl.
I think this is where the Giants lose some fans and have the fans that they have already that are cheering for them to lose. This is where they get a little bit more pissed off about this season, because the only thing that the Giants fan base can redeem themselves with is if they can finish the season at 2-15 and
That's right.
secure the number one
Number
spot
one.
and the number one pick. That's what makes Giants fans feel a little bit better.
That's
Because if they win this game, which they will win this game, Randy, yeah, they
Yeah.
will.
Sure.
They're
course
going to move back in the draft, and then more videos are going to come out about all kind of different crazy accusations and schemes and all kind of crazy stuff from the Giants fans, because Giants
we do.
fans, they're very outspoken, and when they want something, they will tell you that they want it, and if they don't get it, they're going to let you know as well. So I think that's going to happen this week.
Wouldn't it be amazing if this ended up in a tie? They go into overtime and they tie.
But that'd be good for the Giants, because the
Yeah, I
Giants are
guess it
sitting
would.
at the number one pick, and
I guess it
still
would be.
keep them that.
What do we
they're
have
gonna
on the
beat
point
Dallas.
differential?
They're
Yeah,
gonna
right.
beat Dallas.
That would be Dallas.
Oh man.
And that's when Ryan goes into rehab for alcohol.
That's right. That's right. I'm just going to crawl under my rock and I'm not going to come out. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty much how it goes. All right, boys. I want to wish everybody again a Merry Christmas from all of us here at the Big Blue Report to you. Thank you guys very, very much. We will see you next week so we can discuss a win, a loss, a tie, or either way, it's depressing. All right, we'll see you guys next week here on the Big Blue Report. Catch you guys
Happy
later.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
See you, everybody.